Okay, welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's next Super Stock live stream, September 21st. We are back with XTM and the CEO, Marilyn Schaffer. Marilyn, welcome back.
Thanks, Jack. Good to be back.
Marilyn, it's been an exciting summer. I mean, I know a lot of people were on vacation this year, but XTM has been busy at work. We've been seeing in terms of the news flow. You know, the company is making constant progress. There's been some significant traction that you're making in the fintech space, and I want to share actually some examples of, like, I'm actually seeing real market demand for your services, which I'll get into it in a little bit. But first, for anybody that's new to the show or to XTM, quick snapshot. What needs are you solving in the market for your customers in the business model?
So that's what we do, Jack, is we provide earned wages and gratuities to hospitality staff, and now new verticals that we're really happy to announce, via a digital payment platform. So that's, in its simplest form, that's what we do. So, it sounds like maybe that would be an easy thing for companies to do, for example, via payroll. It's not so much, because when you're looking at measuring time and attendance in daily increments, that is a complex value proposition, and gratuities on daily increments. And why that's important to the market is retention, recruitment, employee satisfaction, improved time and attendance. These are all proven ways to get people to come to work and be happy about being at work.
Yeah, these are, it sounds like, these are huge things. I know it almost, when you just rattle it off like these, it sounds like, oh, these are huge things, especially again in the service business. Without the staff, you have no business. And basically the big thing is how you pay them, how they can get their tips and everything else same day. So the bottom line is, again, and I've mentioned it before, I think we've talked about it, I think it's really important for investors to, I don't think investors understand how big of a deal it is, what you're doing and the opportunity, because essentially, like right now, everybody understands that, we're in a very tough labor market. It's difficult to get staff for service industries or anything right now. And you have inflation in the market, which is affecting people. And what you're essentially doing is you're allowing staff at service into different service verticals, because you're expanding beyond just restaurants.
Yeah,
you're going far beyond that now, and so they can get paid in same day, and also the whole get their gratuities same day. And I think we'll talk more about some of the different features, like the tip pooling. It's here's the thing. I think what I think is the real proof of the value of what you're doing and the market opportunities. Well, let's talk about the traction, because that's the thing. Let's forget about this. Let's talk about real dollars right now. Let's talk about some of the big wins you've had and why these companies are turning to XTM as this payment solution.
Okay, happy to talk about that. And I'm going to preface this with, I know there's a lot of frustration in our shareholder base about the US market, and I'm going to address that, but let's just talk about our successes. So in the last quarter alone, we added more than 220 new doors. That's a lot over 3 months for a company our size. Our GDV has increased over 400% year over year. So, we are growing. There's a tremendous amount of traction. And like any great company, any scrappy entrepreneurial company like ours, it's growing significantly, but we still have that mentality where we will bob and weave and we will not lose at all. When faced with delays like we have been in the US market, because the banks don't move as fast as we do, and there's a nuance that we need to add to our value proposition to really be able to compete significantly in the US. So as we await all of those different regulatory bodies to approve this and that, and we have lawyers engaged and compliance officers engaged, we said, what is in our backyard? our backyard in Canada, we have tremendous amount of opportunity, and that's what we've been going after. We announced Foodtastic with 21 brands and over 700 different restaurants. You know, and again, back to the new verticals, one in the delivery space, which opens up a whole new avenue for us. We've been busy. There was no vacations for XTM this summer.
By the way, just so people understand, like, okay, so in terms of real dollars, right now, I mean, in the last quarter, I'm just looking at some numbers. You had when you say GDV, for anybody that's new, essentially, so the gross dollar value, you had $117 million flowing through the system.
Yes.
Okay, so which is significant. Now these are big numbers. Also the and I think, what is it? It's a which was a 400% increase from the same quarter of last year.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you talk about 100 million, that's just in a quarter, right? So yeah.
So the company is on track. I mean, again, there's massive quarter-over-quarter growth, right? You know, the revenues are increasing. I think 200+%.
Yep.
Over this last quarter over the previous year. I mean, these are the types of numbers that, you know, in a normal market, you know, and again, you know, tech stocks have been decimated, but in a normal market, this is the type of thing that, you know, sends stocks, you know, skyrocket. This is the stuff that people look for in a, you know, fintech, in a tech store. They want those massive quarter-over-quarter growth numbers, you know, which is what everybody's looking for. They want that unicorn potential where something could become, you know, $1 billion plus business. And again, you're essentially, I think you have the model in place, and we're seeing proof of that, because again, this what is it, Foodtastic? This is just the latest deal, and again, you're signing more and more deals, and people need to realize also that I think XTM is a relatively small company. I mean, how many staff do you have right now?
We're around 40.
Okay, so that's a tiny company in compared to some of these, you know, VC-backed fintech companies that have hundreds of employees. I mean, they're burning, you know, tremendous amounts of money, and, you know, to get the same type of traction. So this company, Foodtastic, you signed, they have 700 restaurants in their system, something like that.
Yep. They have 712 locations and 21 different brands. So we've already, you know, rolled out we're rolling out Milestones and others in that group. And again, that makes the point of sale integrations really important. Maybe I can just explain why to you, Jack. When you go into a restaurant and you pay your check, your bill with your credit card, they usually hand you a terminal. That terminal represents a point of sale platform that particular business chooses to use. Well, we're integrated right there. So, I mean, we've been able to operate even without those integrations, but as we become more and more sophisticated and create less and less of a touch point for all of these different operators, that integration becomes completely seamless for them. But it takes a bit of work for us. So we've been knocking off all these integrations. That's partly what we've been doing this summer, is to prepare for exponential scale.
Okay, so again, I think, you know, because you're in the business, I don't think you understand, because the stuff is it's very complicated, very significant, and also when you get these integrations, it adds a lot of value. I don't think, you know, look, when you're dealing with a lot of, you know, retail investors or some maybe institutional investors, maybe they understand, but how difficult is it? I think I was asking you before, you know, how challenging is this for somebody to get all these integrations, to create this infrastructure that you have, which again, you know, you've created this infrastructure which could become potentially, you know, a multi-billion-dollar business. I mean, again, we're seeing 100 million flow through the pipeline in a quarter. So, I mean, you're creating that. So how difficult is it for somebody to, let's say, how difficult would it be for somebody to copy what you're doing? Is this something that anybody can copy? Do you have a moat? How significant is this?
You know what I would compare it to, Jack, is, you know, you jump on a train. Not many people use train as a means of transportation these days, but if you did, or a subway, you don't think about that infrastructure. You just get on it and you sail across the city or across the country, and you enjoy yourself, have a drink or eat your snack, whatever it is that you do, read your newspaper. But think about the kind of work that went into creating that, breaking through rocks and mountains and creating the rails, and then the cars to go on the rails, and then running those cars. That's what we've been through. We've created this robust platform that's taken millions of dollars and millions of hours of very sophisticated engineers, all here on-site employees of XTM, to build this robust infrastructure, then to be able to manage it and be able to support the customer experience, and then to improve the customer experience, which we just announced with a new rebrand and a new refreshed app. We do all of this at our expense and to the delight of the user. And again, we do that all in-house. So the barrier of entry is massive. It's years in the making, and it's millions and millions of dollars to get to where we are today, to be able to take on the capacity that we do, and that we will.
Okay, so right now, so right now, just for, how many shares are outstanding, like fully diluted?
I believe there's around 170 million.
Okay, so roughly, so the market cap is then roughly, what are we talking about?
I think the market cap right now is somewhere around 30 million Canadian.
Okay, so 20 million, 25 million US, right?
Right,
so basically, the market is saying that the company is worth $25 million, right? Now, for an incumbent in the fintech space, let's say it's a, I don't know, I'm trying to think, ADP, Pay, whatever it is, anybody who wants to be, for them to do what you're doing, how much would it cost? Because also, here's the thing people don't appreciate. For an incumbent, it's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more, it's much more complicated. How much would it cost them? How much time would it take for somebody to, let's say, to replicate what you're doing?
Well, listen, if you throw, enough money at something, you can usually get things done.
You go to the moon, you can go to the moon.
You can go to the moon, it's true. But I think what we've done is we've, so is it replicable? Yes, it is, for sure, especially if you took an ADP, for example.
Anything is, yeah.
But if you look at the way we've treated the market and the way we've treated this industry and the bespoke approach we've taken to the services business, there's a lot of catching up to do. And I'm sure there's people out there trying to figure it out, but we're engaged. We have great rapport with our clients. We provide excellent customer service. And that part, if you take the sum of the parts, it's greater than the whole. It would be very hard to step into our shoes.
Yeah, because the way I look at, again, for anybody that's tuning in for the first time, the goal with our next super stock program is to, introduce companies that have that 10x to 100x upside. The companies going after massive multi-billion-dollar opportunities, key inflection point, multiple catalysts. I go into all that, but one of the other things that I look for when I look for a company, that qualifies to be on the platform is I want something which has kind of it's already undervalued intrinsically. There's like a built-in profit upside. So in other words, the way I'm looking at XTM is essentially there's a built-in profit, because for somebody to, let's say, replicate what you're doing, for a big incumbent, I mean, it's much cheaper for them, let's say, to just write a check for like $150, $200 million. So that gives an investor essentially a 4x, 5x upside that's built in. Because I mean, the value of what you have between the existing customer relationships, so the infrastructure, it's much cheaper for somebody to just write a check. Now, I don't think, is it fair to say that you wouldn't sell a company for under 150 million? But it's like that's why I'm looking at this as there's like a built-in profit for investors. Again, I'm not making any price projections. I'm not saying it's just from the fundamentals.
We hold dearly the shareholders that got us to where we are today, and I live every day, every working day, including Saturdays and Sundays. I hold that responsibility to shareholders as a very serious responsibility to get the maximum ROI that is possible. So that's what we work for every day, is the value, the shareholder value. And to that end, I loved an Instagram post that came up last night from someone on our team, and they showed a corner, 4 corners. We're on every corner. There's 4 restaurants, four corners, they're all, today users. So, this is what makes me really excited. And once you have that kind of credibility and you've got the space going, okay, these guys are contenders, we trust them, then the business, a tremendous amount of business comes in through our website without us having to pick up the phone. And as that increases, the group that we have right now, the 30-ish people, 30 to 40 people we have, I should check that. I think on our stand-up, which we have every morning, I think this morning was north of 35, so call it 40, we could handle 10 times the business. With a couple maybe of little nuances and exceptions, we have that infrastructure in place now. Now we're ready to go. And so there's a couple things that are not on hold, but that we anticipate, and that's a final approval to get to maximize the business that we have in the US. We have signed a number of new clients. I'm getting lots of queries. Can you name those clients? That's not within our control. To be able to name those clients is not within our control. And this group might be asking too, you've signed 220 new doors in the past quarter. Why aren't you naming them? It's becoming more and more of a competitive edge for restaurant operators to bring us on and to help us in the back end. We're saving them thousands and thousands of dollars in resources and time and energy and fraud and human error. And so they like to keep us in their back pocket. We can't force them to allow us to announce it. We do include it in our contracts. We ask for permission to market. And some of the larger groups, they strike it because they say, no, give us a year. So when we see that this traction is all bubbling up, all of this is happening. And, we're very excited about what the next 6 to 8 months are going to bring.
Yeah. So it's interesting because here's the thing. There's I'm trying to think the guy's name. Okay. So I'm trying to think. There's a venture capital guy. I think he was the president or the chief operating officer of PayPal, right? So this is the guy.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Andreessen. Yeah.
No. Okay, it'll come to me after we're done with it, probably. Anyway, so he's a VC now. He's runs billions of dollars. But anyway, so he had something very interesting. There's a video on YouTube where he says, okay, what is the model? How do you create a $1 billion startup? There's a process. So what are the things you need, right? So obviously you got to have something which addresses some real pain points in the market, which is very obvious for people. So in the restaurant, in the services industry, what you're doing is you're solving a very obvious problem for them, and we can go into more details, but it's a significant operational thing, and it gives them a major advantage. So that's number one. But number two is in terms of the market, right? So we can talk about, okay, yeah, fintech, multi-billion-dollar market, great, okay. But the key is you start with a certain vertical, you start with a niche. You dominate that niche, and then you can expand, which is what you're doing. You're really building a significant position in the restaurant space, right? And there you can get a lot of word of mouth. It's you talk about it a couple times, where it's one of those businesses where it's a little more. I don't want to say everybody knows each other, but it's one of those businesses. And from there you can expand to other things. It's just like again, any of these huge success stories. They started with Facebook. Okay, Facebook started with college students only, right? It was a very specific thing, and then it became for everybody. So now you're starting with the restaurants. Now you're going to services, and then it's going to other. It could go pretty much. So here's the other thing, right? So here's the key thing, because it could go. I mean, in theory, you can serve any business, right? I mean, you can make this instant.
That's right.
For anybody, right? So that becomes an interesting thing. Now, that Adobe just bought, or they're about to buy, a company called Figma for $20 billion, right? Mm-hmm. This is a company that didn't exist. I don't know. Basically 4 years ago, they really started going, right? So $20 billion. Why are they paying $20 billion for this company? Because Figma is doing something which, in theory, Adobe realized could cannibalize their business. So they're saying, hey, you know what? Let's pay $20 billion. It's about 10% of our market cap, but it takes that existential risk off the table.
Right.
I'm looking at it this way, right? So for a company like, I don't know, ADP, anybody in the payments, in the payroll, whatever it is, if once they see you get some more traction, this could be in 6 months, 9 months, whatever it is, 12 months from now, okay? Then they say, wow, these guys, let's buy them before, right now they're in some verticals. They're doing restaurants, they're doing services. Let's buy these guys before maybe they might go into every business. I mean, in theory, you could serve every business.
For sure, and we would entertain all those conversations.
Right. I'm not saying that the company's for sale, for $1 billion, whatever. But it could be. Why can't it be $1 billion? If Figma was bought for $20 billion, why not? Right? And this is a simple business.
And we live every day. We live every day with that kind of goal. Like, we're not satisfied with average. We're satisfied with the moon, and so I like where you're going with that. I think that's exactly right. When you talk about the different verticals, there's all these adjacent businesses, right? That's the word I'm looking for. Yes. That hit hospitality. But if you think about what happens when you sit down for a meal, the plates, the napkins, the tablecloths, all of those get delivered. They get sent out to laundry. There's all these ancillary workers that that need to get paid, and how much more so are they going to be incentivized if they can get paid every day? So this is what we're looking at, and it can triple, quadruple, 10 times our growth in a very short period of time. The good news is we have the infrastructure to be able to support it. And that is not a small thing. That's a big thing. It's what we work really, really hard at. And now we're at the stage where we're looking at, adding more of a sales team, especially as it relates to the US market, to really get our message out there.
Marilyn, I'm gonna get into the audience questions in just a second. We've got some great questions because this is the whole idea. I just wanted to kind of make one final comment before we go into the questions. Is that, look, I'm seeing kind of the demand for your this what you're doing everywhere. For example, right now, anytime I go in, pay for anything, on the terminal. You're paying, and then there's a gratuity. What about it's not even 15%. Some of these places 20%. They don't even have the 15%. In the U.S., I don't know what in Canada, but automatically every place has this. I mean, every business, not even store. I mean, it's crazy, right? So what that means is a lot of these people, they want to pay their staff working there daily, and they want to give them the tips daily. That helps them recruit people. And again, the whole inflation thing right now, we're going into this kind of very recessionary stagflation, whatever you want to call it. But what that means is people do need to get paid that day, because look, they got to put gas in their car, they got to feed their family. There's a lot of people who need that money today. They can't wait 2 weeks. Yeah. Right? It's a major advantage. If you're running a restaurant, you need to have 100 people, and for even not a bigger. You got to pay those. If they get paid every day, they're going to show up, right? I mean, it's really hard. A lot of restaurants, they all have signs. We're hiring. And how much easier is it for these guys to hire somebody to say, hey, you start today, you get paid today, you get your tips today, pooling, you get everything today.
And Jack, think too of a staffing agency that maybe is for blue collar workers, and think about the competition to get those folks to show up and to work, through the project for 10 days straight. All of this becomes a competitive advantage to recruit, retain, and excite those workers, and make those workers feel like they are being financially included, that they have something to work for, goals. Our app is so robust. We've got areas to save money, to track the way you're spending money. Our mobile wallet rivals any bank. Any banking type of experience, and it's free. There's no monthly fees. There's no transaction fees other than moving the money off of the wallet. That's the only thing we charge for. So there's huge advantages to the worker and to the employer.
By the way, one interesting story. So last week I'm getting a haircut, and so this place I'm going to, I don't know, 10 years. It used to be $18 for a haircut. Now it's like $30, right? That's here. I don't know why they're charging me more. But here's the thing. I didn't have cash on me. For whatever reason, I didn't have my cat. So okay, so I want to use a credit card, right? And and then they have a little sign there that says, okay, you can't pay tips with a credit card. Now I don't know. Basically, you could pay for the thing, but the tip they can't put on the. I don't know why. Maybe you can explain. But so basically, I have to go out and get, why is it? So if imagine.
So the reason why is because that worker wants that access to that direct tip, and the employer wants to give that worker the direct tip. With our system, you're able to do that without cash. So we solve that. We would be able to, you would pay for your haircut, you would leave a nice robust tip because you're such a good guy, and that tip would go directly to the wallet of the person, the stylist who did your hair. And he or she would get a text message that says, you just received, $20 from Jack. I'm sure you're not going to give $20, but $10 from Jack. And so we solve that whole the direct tip problem for many businesses.
Obviously, it's a problem because this is a place that does, they have like, I don't know, they got like they must have like a dozen locations now in Midtown Manhattan, right? It's premium barbershop for anybody with a premium barbershop. They do a great job, right? So basically, and they have huge volume. I mean, they do a huge volume of business, I'm sure, right? They're constantly, chairs are constantly full. So basically, they're and again, people now, they're not carrying cash anymore. People aren't using cash. So they got it. So they really need to use your system essentially, because otherwise it's like too complicated. All right, they have to use. This is a perfect case for why this is such a big deal. Okay, let's get audience questions. The highlight of today. Okay, this is again the big question. Okay, the U.S. Oh, actually no, you're in the U.S. I guess he's asking when are you going to go massive in the U.S.? Is that
right? So we are in the U.S. We have a number of restaurant chains signed. We are to see the kind of volume and the kind of pop that we want in the US. As I mentioned, we have a nuance and a feature to add to our value proposition that is still in approval process. We expect it any day. We've been waiting for months. You can't move the banks any faster than they choose to move. So as I mentioned, we are operating in the US. We're fully operative. We've got a number of different restaurants on our platform in the US. But to see that pop, we really need this feature added. More to come on that, maybe even next week.
Okay, and also very important. I mean, you're also expanding into new verticals beyond. Can you mention some of the verticals you're going into now outside of just the restaurants?
Sure. So we announced a refuse deliver or pickup type of business. So where, say you're moving or you're cleaning, doing your spring cleaning or fall cleaning, and you call one of those businesses to come and pick up your junk, if you will, we signed their drivers. So we're paying, so someone's asking about trucking and driving. Absolutely. That's a big opportunity for us. And they love our platform and are advocates for our platform. We can't say their name, as per their request, but they said they will advocate for us in the industries, and they are doing that, and we're working on that vertical. Another vertical, as we mentioned, is staffing agencies. So more to come on that as well, but that just is a natural fit for what it is that we do, especially if you're working with transient or migrant workers who are, maybe taking on a job for a couple of weeks and then not being there and then coming back. Our solution makes a lot of sense for those workers.
Yeah, no, it's another one of those things like transportation. Like okay, this refuse pickup, whatever. I mean, that's an important thing, and those people are having a hard time, getting staff, right? I mean, without trucks, you have nothing, right? Without trucks, bring in the food, bring in the, whatever. I mean, you basically the society basically shuts down. So you got these people need. It's a big deal. I don't think anybody can appreciate it because everybody's sitting in front of the computer and nobody knows how the real world really works. But as we've seen the last few years, when certain things break down, basically it creates a lot of supply chain problems, and all of a sudden it trickles down. Okay, I'm not sure if I understand this question. June. Okay, new customers. New customer. What did you? I think you mentioned new customers. New major customers you're bringing in.
Well, so we did announce in our Q2 that we signed 220 new doors or new locations. We can't name all of those, but we did name some of them, and there will be more bigger names to come. So yeah, and we talked about Foodtastic, and we talked about, like, within that one brand, there's 21 brands and 750 locations, I think it is. So that's a big one that we're tackling, and we're onboarding as we speak.
Okay. Laura's asking, when do you expect to have a positive EBITDA?
So our CFO is not here to address that. Our business is one that goes like, and I see there's a question about COGS as well. So our business is one. If you go back to the analogy of the rail and the cars and the train, there's an intense capital investment required upfront, and then we have minimums that we have to do with the banks, etc. But as your volume increases, your margin increases. So our margin right now is around 20. I think it's 20%, 19%. We see our margin getting better and better over time, and you can look at other models in the neobanking to be able to compare. So that's what I'll say about this right now. Is EBITDA positive is it's a ways away. I'm not going to pinpoint an actual date, and there's some things that could happen and some things that might not happen that would change that. But I will say we have a very healthy, robust, and our business has a lot of traction.
Yeah, the way I look at this, I don't really care, but this is sounds sacrilegious, but look, when it comes to growth stocks, the EBITDA, that stuff does not matter. Right now, the company is in the growth stage, and the value of the infrastructure, you're basically buying the growth story here. The EBITDA story, by the time you get to the EBITDA positive, the stock could be significantly higher, and it's like you buy the rumor, sell the news. It's like by then, Marilyn, I don't want to say this, but by the time the company's EBITDA positive, you don't want to own the stock. The big growth is now.
Yes, you're right, John.
Now, when it gets to EBITDA positive, then the growth becomes. The stock value, the opportunity is much less. It's like
If I was an investor, and I am an investor.
I'm not giving you advice, by the way.
If I was an investor, and like I said, I am an investor because my personal future is tied up in XTM. I can't sell any shares. I don't sell any shares. What I would be looking at is management and the current progress to date, and what is the vision moving forward. And I think the rest, you have to kind of come for the ride. There's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks. I get tons of emails from investors saying, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? We're in the field. We're bobbing and weaving. We've got lots of really strong people, both in payments and in hospitality. And we are very proud of our success to date. And we continue to push forward. And we hope that we have more significant news for you in the very near future on the US. But right now, that we're not able to disclose that much about the US.
Let's wrap up. Final questions here. But again, the way I'm looking from the investor standpoint is, okay, you're basically paying $25 million for this company. That's the market cap right now, US. You're getting a business that's doing what? It's on track to do $400 million of gross dollar. The run rate is $100 million. So $400 million flowing through. That number is growing. 200% quarter over the previous quarter of last year. So that's a cheap price. I think for somebody in the payment space, they would be willing to pay at least $100-200 million for this business if it came to that. So it's like, to me, I look at that. That's kind of the put. That's the that's the put for the stock. It's like you have almost a built-in profit. Okay, audience question. Andrew, Philippe, always great questions here. The detailed financials. I'm running forecast and future revenue generation. I'd love your comment on cost of goods sold management and your strategy to put upward pressure on operational margin.
Right, and I kind of addressed that. So we do see margin getting better as our volume increases, we have a CFO who's rigorous on bottom line. Any additional expense that we can cut, we're cutting, even though we are sitting on cash, we've got a good run rate. We're hoping that we get to a point where we can self-sustain in the near future. But when you ask me about, Klaus is asking about 2022 and 2023, we don't provide guidance, so I can't comment on what our revenue will be. I can only comment on what it has been. But in this type of business, I can say fairly that you do see margins improve as volume grows. So that's what we're focused on, is we're focused on volume, getting more and more people onto the cars, into the train. We're also focused on other revenue streams. So we've added tip pooling, which is a monthly reoccurring revenue, and we're ambitiously out there selling that to a market that really needs it. And the EWA is the earned wage access is another feature that we can further monetize that we are rolling out.
It's really, the incredible thing about the penny stock market, the public market, is that, you have, because these stocks get priced daily by the minute, right? The stock's trading every day. And you have retail investors, you have, and right now you have something that which is trading. I mean, if you were private right now, if you were a VC-backed company, in other words, if you were, getting money from Silicon Valley VCs, the company, based on what you have right now, would be valued at maybe, I think, 200 million. You'd be raising money at $200 million rounds. I mean, the company would be valued at 200 million plus easily.
We have groups, Jack, in this space with the same
it's an
number
arbitrage
of
opportunity.
users that are valued at $1 billion. So you're right. The public market has been particularly cruel to companies like ours, but the private market has been frothy. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, give us some examples, then we'll wrap up on that because we're running a little bit. Give us some examples. Private company comps very similar to what you're doing that are valued at,
Well, because they're private, you kind of can't guess, but you can. All you have to do is go to Crunchbase, for example, and look at some of the raises they've done, and look at the kind of percentage that they got for that raise, and you can see billion-dollar valuations for companies in the same genre.
It's an incredible opportunity. Okay, so last question, Marilyn. Okay, news flow. What can we expect? I mean, in terms of news flow, next couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, I tell people we don't want to waste our ammo over the summer because a lot of people were away, but we're very much working on news flow now, and excited about what's going to come out over the next, call it, quarter.
Okay. Last. This is the last question. Okay. I haven't asked you this in a while, but I haven't asked a lot of companies in a while. I should start asking. Top 3 reasons, in your opinion, why investors, should consider XTM today.
Number one, I think we're in a huge growth trajectory. We have just nothing but upside in front of us. The hard work has been done. We believe the risk has been eliminated. If you look at our client base and the brands we represent right now, number 2, we've got a management team who is incredibly responsible. And every single dollar that is invested in our company is spent with thought and integrity. And number 3 is that the world is changing, and we're at the right place at the right time. The same day pay, the elimination of cash, full compliance with employees as it relates to disseminating tips and gratuities, all of that. We have the right technology for the right time.
No, I mean, I couldn't say better. Okay. Marilyn, thank you again. We look forward to catching up with you. Next few weeks. Thank you again.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay, let's get ready for our next presenter. So again, the theme today, companies in the right place at the right time. Big market trends. There we go. Evan.
There he is.
Okay, we got a special guest, right?
Better late than never, Jack.
Okay, Dasha.
Here's Dasha.
Hello.
Dasha, welcome.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, let me see if we can get what's easy for people to see, like this or.
Yeah, that's good.
This is good or this? You want to do this or this? We'll switch it up. We'll switch it up. Okay, hang on a second. Let me
have fun. Have fun with it, Jack.
Let me just make sure we get everything set up here.
Do you know, Dasha, that Jack's been around since 1843?
I see it in the back cover.
You see that? You see that? He's one Wall Street reporter in a long line.
Not me. It was William McIntyre who started this in 1840. This is the first financial newspaper in the U.S. Actually, the oldest financial media brand.
Jack, your audio is a little muffled.
The Economist also 1843. I think they were started. Ironically,
your audio is a little muffled, Jack.
Can you hear me better now?
Are you using a new mic?
There's a little mic issue. Hang on a second. Let me try something here.
It sounds a little muffled.
Hang on. Let me see.
Yeah.
How about now? Is this better?
Oh, that's much better.
This is better?
Much better.
Okay.
Night and day.
Okay, hang on. Let me get this. Okay. Let me do a quick intro for anybody who's going to be watching this later. Okay, welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's next Superstock live stream, September 21st. We are back with NexTech, NEXCF, Evan Gappleberg, the CEO, and Dasha. Dasha, I don't have your title. What is your title? You're new, right?
I'm a product manager at NexTech.
Product manager. Okay. We got to put it in your thing in the description. Product. Okay. So we're gonna have a special presentation. We're gonna have something new and exciting to talk about. Again, for anybody that's brand new to our program, our goal is to bring you those stocks which have 10x to 100x upside potential. Companies going after massive multi-billion-dollar market opportunities at a key inflection point, and with multiple catalysts in place to ignite that increase in shareholder value. So again, NexTech, based on this thing, was already a 15x, 1,500% gain, and we're going to find out if they can do it again, become a 10-bagger again, which is always a good thing. So with that said, Evan, what are we doing? We're gonna do a show and tell today.
Yeah. So today's actually a big day. We're going to give you a sneak peek into something Dasha and our CTO and the team have been working on night and day and night to bring to market, and it's now finally ready. I'm not going to steal Dasha's thunder, but I'm going to just set the stage that Toggle3D is software. Software is very, very, very different than the other technologies that are out there. It has 90% profit margins, and it's highly scalable, no-touch technology that everybody in Techland wants. Software is the thing that drives technology. If you look at Microsoft and all the great software companies, they're great because of their software. And so we're launching Toggle3D. It's our showcase piece of software. It is a compilation of everything we've done to date in one suite, one platform, and it speaks to this 3D tidal wave that we're now experiencing in terms of demand for 3D models and everything 3D. And so this piece of software, we believe, can be the heart and soul of this 3D mega trend that is now underway. And with that, I'll let Dasha show a quick little deck that just kind of explains the solution, and we'll speak a little bit to the deck. And then we're actually going to have Dasha demo the platform itself. And so the platform is so huge that today we're only demoing a slice of it. Just to be clear, what we're going to see today is what's market ready today. There's ongoing development, and over the next few weeks and months, that development will materialize in commercial products that we continue to add to the platform. But today's demo is quite exciting. And with that, Dasha, let's jump into the deck.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction.
Sure.
Evan, as Evan had mentioned, we're super excited about this product. We just went live with the beta launch on Monday. And let me share.
Oh, we get it's not up here yet. Oh, here we go. Okay.
You see it now?
Hang on. Okay. You know what? Can you make it full screen so we see the full single slide view?
Do you see it now?
I see.
He's just saying to put it in like presenter view.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
That's
or play from start kind of thing. You don't need to do it, Dasha.
okay. No, this is good. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dasha.
Okay, perfect. So introducing for the first time, Toggle3D. As Evan had said, we've been really working on technology and different pieces of the puzzle to scale 3D model creation with all the uptake and demand that we've been seeing over the last few months. Toggle is our way of putting together the best at NexTech and offering this as an internal tool for pretty much anybody to start creating 3D models, creating 3D visualizations as an internal tool for the company. So Toggle is essentially your 3D design studio. Our product vision for Toggle here is to create something that's very easy for anybody to use. What we've done is we've templatized the whole approach of 3D model creation. Whether it's a configurator, virtual photography, product guides, sales demos that you're hoping to create, we've taken this as one step further after your 3D model has been created by answering the question of what do you do with it. So as you see here, we've just launched the beta version of a product configurator. We're currently in development of also making a template to render high quality virtual photography pieces. And then we are developing, and to come in the roadmap a little bit later, is the template to create product guides and sales demos as well from this one design studio platform.
Dasha, I think we just need slide 2. We're still on slide 1.
Oh, do you guys not see the transitions here?
No, we don't see the transitions.
Okay, interesting. Let me try resharing here one more time.
Okay. And if not, I could pull it up. If it doesn't, I could try anyway.
Okay, awesome. Here. Hopefully this
Jack's platform, it's always wonky.
Do you see slide now?
Yeah, we see slide 2 now. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, we spoke to that, so we can go to slide 3. Yeah. There we go.
Okay, now we see the transitions. Perfect. Okay, so what makes Toggle different is we've built it in a way, again, that anybody can do it. We're really reimagining 3D design. This whole platform is run in your browser. It's the first value prop that really separates Toggle in the marketplace today. We don't require an app download to your desktop. You can do that right off of your browser, making it easily accessible anytime, anywhere. We have the second part here, which is the template approach. So as you've seen in the previous slide, we've templatized the design studio to make it super easy to just jump in and start creating what it is that you've come to do. This is very similar to the way that Canva has really revolutionized 2D design by offering that templatized approach moving forward. And this is something very similar, but for the 3D version of it. So now you have this, again, easy approach where anybody can jump in and start using these templates to create their product configurator or their virtual photography.
Yeah, it's no code. You just literally point and click, as you know, she'll be demoing in a minute. It's super easy. Anyone could do it.
Exactly. Anyone can do it. And the last part here, to make that even easier for anybody, you have the templates, but you also have the pre-built libraries. And what that means is we've provided you the tools, but we've also provided you examples of how to use these tools. Currently, we've rendered over 1,000 PBR materials, meaning physically based rendered materials. This makes 3D modeling look realistic. So rather than just sort of taking a screenshot of whatever you find online, this is actually made to put onto a 3D model and make it look realistic. So we've built that library already. We are going to continue building libraries as other templates come out, such as having a pre-built 3D model library, having different stock photo libraries, lighting and environment libraries. So we provide the templates, and then we also provide the tools. Let's try the slide transition here again.
It worked.
Perfect. So this is the first template that we've launched beta on Monday. It's the product configurator template. And you see the steps here on your left. This is honestly how easy it is to do it. You go into the platform. There's two different ways to start. You either upload a CAD file, which is geared towards product designers, manufacturers that work in the CAD ecosystem on a daily basis. And alternatively, you can also upload a 3D model. Whether NexTech made it, whether you got it somewhere else, we support all of the 3D models out there. So you're able to upload that as well and start your journey there. The second step here is creating the variations. And it's as simple as Evan says. You press on the part that you want to create a variation for, which I'll demo here in a minute, and you select the material or the color variation that you want to create. Lastly, once you have all your variations in place, you hit a button, it's published, you can share it. Any updates that you make on the platform on Toggle and republish will automatically update wherever it is that you published your asset. So if that means you've put the configurator on your e-commerce website, as soon as you publish it in Toggle, you don't have to re-embed. It automatically will update and show you the new variations that you've created.
Amazing. Just so everyone understands, 1, 2, 3 is really, really important when it comes to technology. It has to be super simple, and that really, if you want it to scale beyond techies. And so this is a no-code platform. Again, anyone can use it. 1, 2, 3. With that, I think we could go into the live demo. Show you how simple it is.
Let me reshare my screen here.
We might even have Jack use it one day.
Next time it'll be Jack doing the demo for the next template.
Jack doing the demo. There it is. We're in.
We are in. So let's start from the very beginning here. This is our kind of temporary landing page for Toggle3D. And it's, again, you sign up for free. We do have a freemium version for this product. We also have a paid version. But since I'm a daily minute user of this product, I'm going to go right into my login here. So once you log into the platform, you see this sort of homepage here that is welcoming you. You have a little bit of onboarding on how to get started. You have your projects tabs. You have your library tab of any models that you've previously uploaded or the resulting mesh of your CAD conversion that we do. You have your help and support page, and then you have your account settings and all of the other things that make a platform really functional and easy to use. I'm going to jump in with a fun little demo here with a Lamborghini. So here we've imported this externally onto Toggle. You see it even supports animations that were on here already when we had imported the model. To import the model, you do it right here. So upload my file. This is the resulting upload. Right here, you'll be able to see all the different parts of the 3D model. And if I press it, it'll show me kind of where those parts are located on the model. You can see some of them have been named, others have not. So I'm able to kind of easily go in here and kind of rename any parts if they are not already named in the model.
Yep.
I'm also able to.
Yep. So Dasha could be working for Lamborghini and designing a new car model, and the 3D version is in the studio, and she's now looking at prototypes of potential, new Lamborghini designs, new Lamborghini variations to ultimately launch into the market. And so, here she is without having to spend all the money on actually doing this in the real world. She's now doing this in this virtual 3D world.
Exactly. That brings up a really good point, because previously we've always talked about product configurators going on e-commerce websites. However, with this tool, now that it's an internal tool for companies to play around with, this could be an excellent way to prototype variations that maybe don't exist for the product already, play around with it, use this as a way to communicate to stakeholders the possible variations and get their buy-in kind of live here in 3D before you go ahead and commit to actually manufacturing the specific variation.
Exactly.
So it lets NexTech make an impact a lot earlier on in the product lifecycle, which is also a really great, powerful thing about this tool. We see here all the different parts. I'm able to kind of do this all live on the model as well. So there's lots of different ways to access the tools. But for the purposes of this demo, let's create a few fun variations for the Lambo. I've selected the body here, create a new variation. We have, as I mentioned earlier, over 1,000 PBR materials rendered and ready to go.
So this is where I want to have a little fun with you, Dasha, because this is every guy's dream car, right? So the Lamborghini, let's think about, I want to see it in marble, marbleized exterior, something that nobody else has ever seen. Boom. Point and click. It's now covered with a marble. Look at that. That's like your kitchen countertop now on your Lambo. Again, this is designing the car in 3D. I mean, I mean, as fun as it is for me, for somebody who actually is designing product, this is an extremely powerful tool. And that's just marble. Let's pick up, maybe should we take a look at it in wood or something? Or I don't know, something. Yeah, wood Lamborghini. That is going to be hilarious. Let's see what, like a light. Oh, look at that.
So the power of doing this is, as a prototype, this might not be, a wooden Lamborghini. You've never seen this before. You would never manufacture it without, kind of having some.
Never say never.
I mean, well, you wouldn't have previously until you met Toggle, right? So exactly. Toggle lets you experiment with those variations that you might have not thought possible or feasible for your product. You're able to see it live before making any sort of crazy manufacturing commitments to it.
Yeah, and we're only right now looking at, let's say, the body, as mentioned. Click on, let's say, the tire or the rim, and let's just see if we do the same thing. We could we could pick a different part, and then just do the same exact thing, right?
Let's see it in leather here.
Now, we've made a leather rim.
And I'll save that variant for later, but we can also go into the metals, make it a little bit more, be something we would expect potentially to see.
Yeah.
So I'll save this variant as well for later. We're able also to do like a different part here. So if we wanted to change, let's say, this animation, these doors here, create a new variation for that. Let's play around here with another one that we haven't used. Try plastic out here. Oh, let's try a different one here.
Yeah, maybe tiles.
And try tiles out. So might be the animation here that. Yeah, let's go at different parts. Do headlights.
Yeah. But, the magic is that this is point and click. And, this is one model. Again, you could import any model. It could be NASA, rocket ship. It could be a Lamborghini. It could be your coffee machine that you're experimenting with, different designs and different prototyping. So there's a wide array of use cases for this, a wide array of industries. We see this as becoming the standard tool for 3D, just like AutoCAD is the standard tool for CAD files and 3D renderings. You would take the AutoCAD file, import it in, and now you could design it. So AutoCAD doesn't let you design, lets you kind of create a very raw kind of 3D heavy file with every single piece of that product in 3D, and then you bring it into the studio, Toggle3D, you toggle over, and now you could design it. End-to-end solution for the 3D. And it's 100% subscription based. So it's going to be a SaaS product where you pay for seats. Is that it, Dasha?
Yep. So you'd pay for a license. Very shortly, as we add enterprise solutions, you'll be able to pay for seats as an enterprise package. But yes, monthly subscription.
Yeah. So it's monthly subscription. And, again, we're pretty agnostic whose 3D model you use. Although, of course, if you're using our 3D models, we get paid to make the model. And then you have everything kind of under one umbrella, where NexTech is not only your Toggle3D platform, but also your 3D model manufacturer. And then you have the content management system all linked together under, again, one end-to-end solution that we offer.
Mm-hmm. What you've seen here is as Evan was talking, I was kind of playing around with the different variations that we had created. So I'm able to see them as I created them. And then right before I'm ready to publish onto my e-commerce website or share with stakeholders as I'm making design decisions, I'm actually able to see it in that typical sort of configurator experience that you see online today, where I'm seeing it all change in real time.
And then you just publish this, you push a button, and then all of these different configurations end up on a website.
Exactly. So if I said, looks good, I'm ready to publish. Currently, I'm given two different options here. I'll be given an option to send a view link to anybody here, so I can copy it and open a new tab here, and anybody can see the end result of the configurator.
Wow, that's exciting. I don't think I've actually seen this all end to end, where you just toggled into Toggle, created a custom Lambo in front of my very eyes, literally just cut and pasted that link. And now we're in a web browser looking at that and looking at all the different variations. And then all of that can just be imported onto a website, you're saying, just by the click of a button, just like.
Exactly. So here, this is the other option. Here's the embed code. So as we kind of are used to today, this would just be an iframe that you're provided, and I'm able to put it onto my e-commerce site. Anything that I do, and I'll be able to show it here. So let's say, hypothetically, we wanted to add one more variation to our body here. Anything that I do, if I republish it, you'll see this live link republish as well.
Wow.
We've never seen a carpet Lamborghini, so let's just continue playing around here, having some fun. I see that the variants have been saved in my body, this new carpet here. I publish it. I don't need to re-embed the code that you saw earlier after this publish loads, but if I just reload, and if this is on an e-commerce website, it automatically reload. If I just reload the page here.
This is impressive to me, and it's my company. I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, for the entire ecosystem, the 3D industry, whether you're talking about Apple, Microsoft, Meta, nobody has this technology. Adobe, there's nobody that has this. AutoCAD, these are all billion, some of them are trillion-dollar companies. We've done the pioneering work, and this is now about to launch. I think this week. So this is happening right now. Maybe we can move to that other demo, which shows what does the other one show? The CAD.
Yeah, so we also have the instance of a CAD conversion. This is what makes this platform really powerful for manufacturers because this is completely AI. So from the CAD conversion, we're not touching the model at all. You'll see here that if I enter this product configurator template, and I upload a file.
Stop there for a second, just for 1 second. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, Dasha, but this is important information. Okay, so Dasha just said she ran over something without actually realizing how huge it is. It's 100% AI. Okay. Our biggest customer today is Amazon. We've made that clear a number of times. They're asking for a large volume of 3D models, but their customers are manufacturers. The people that actually populate the site with product, a lot of them are manufacturers. And manufacturers have CAD files. Our ability to scale, is it unlimited, Dasha?
If you're on the Pro plan, if you're paying for the platform, it is unlimited CAD conversions.
Okay, so our ability to scale CAD files on Toggle3D is simply game changing. It is the thing I've been talking about for the past year, and it's here now. Dasha is demoing and really ushering in a new era for the 3D and CAD file industry.
Exactly. As Evan said, completely AI. So once I've uploaded this file here, you'll see that, I get this message letting me know, just hang on tight, let us make this conversion. It honestly happens, depending on the file size, between 1.5 to 2 minutes.
So it's happening.
It's happening live right now.
It's happening. So you guys are witnessing history in the making. This is history in the making. This is AI. The AI is doing its thing. Oh, it's coming. There it is.
There you go.
You just witnessed a CAD conversion using AI into a 3D model on the Toggle3D platform.
Exactly. So something that used to be a very heavy CAD mesh or CAD kind of diagram there, a little blueprint, has been created into this lightweight 3D model that you can now add materials to, you're able to add color to, you're able to make it look photorealistic. And at the same time, which makes it really important, is now a CAD file is applicable to the web. So before, it's way too heavy to actually, export and just put on your e-commerce site, even though it wouldn't look photorealistic if you were to do that. It's too heavy to support that. So these lightweight files make that possible.
So let's just be clear. You have this heavyweight CAD file that's now been imported into Toggle3D. Here it is. All AI, no, you're just clicking buttons, right? So there's no human, which means it's highly scalable. Now this is kind of let's call it vanilla CAD file that Dasha is now going to take out the design tools that we were using on the Lambo. And essentially these are called meshes. Is that what we call them?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So every part here, every kind of face, you're able to texture and add materials to, and really get down to the nitty-gritty details of making this look as realistic as possible.
Yeah, so if you think of every product that's ever been made, every product that's being made today, every product that will be made tomorrow, they all use CAD files. You have to use a CAD file on the manufacturing level, and basically it's this. It's a vanilla, it's plain, and then it's up to you as the designer. You hire a design firm to design your products. Look at all the Gucci products that are out there. They start off all just gray and very plain, and then the designer does their Gucci thing and turns it into something amazing that everybody wants to buy. And so all of that can happen inside this platform. Previously, you had to FedEx product, you had to fly people all over the world to different locations to be on site. This is also collaborative, is it not?
It will be very soon. In its next release, it will be collaborative as well.
So Dasha could be where she is, and I could be where I am, and we could be collaborating, dropping sticky notes and working on this design together. So it's this global ability to interact and design. Look at that. It's starting to look like a real product that you might find at IKEA or someplace.
Exactly. So what I've done here is I grouped different meshes together, and we are optimizing this process. So you wouldn't actually have to go through all the meshes, but kind of auto group them for you. For this beta launch, you're able to group them yourself very easily, holding down Shift or grouping right here as well. You're able to see kind of this option to group. And from there, I just apply materials. So in the previous demo, we created variations because the Lambo had already had materials on it when we imported it. But here we're starting from scratch. This is essentially a 3D mesh that you would have to go piece by piece and add materials to. As you saw here kind of earlier, you're able to hide different parts too. So you can really get into like the inside portions of the model as well. But after I've grouped something that I've defined to be a drawer, I'm able to edit the material and go ahead and add any material that I want to it, save it. I'm able to do something very similar for kind of the other parts.
And so, Dasha, we have a material library that's preloaded. But again, if you're Gucci, you're going to load your own material library. And you could do that just as easily, right? You could just load.
Exactly. So if you did have proprietary materials, we do also support the ability to upload that. But here, so I've created another group here. I'm adding another material to it. Let's go into the metals here. Something that I'm expecting it to be maybe like a stainless steel. Seems very, very real here. And so I'm able to the parts that I just grouped, I had added the stainless steel material to. And kind of to help me keep track of that, I'm able to rename this, let's say, as a frame.
Right. Yeah. And so once this is done, once she's just demoing, she saves it, and then it can be imported onto your website, and you could start selling it or pre-selling, even though you haven't even made the product, but you could start to pre-sell it. I mean, I could actually see this being super useful for Kickstarter, right, where they might have a CAD, but they haven't actually started production yet, but they could create this 3D model of the product that they're going to make. And I bet you they would love something like this. So lots and lots of use cases. This was a great demo. I really appreciate all the hard work, Dasha, that you and the team have put into bringing this to life. It really is game-changing technology for the 3D modeling industry. And I think with that, Dasha, I will see you after the show. You could drop off. You don't have to be bored by Jack and I.
Never a dull moment with you two. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on here. It was a pleasure, and I hope to return soon.
Great job. Great job.
Thank you for the demo.
Thanks.
Wow. So this is okay. So this is very interesting. So let's kind of unpack what's the business model with this? What is this used for?
So it's super simple, Jack. This is software, as we talked about. So the profit margins are going to be 90%. So we don't care who makes the 3D model. Right now, we make 3D models. There's a couple of other companies that make 3D models. But think about Amazon, back to that use case again. We're a preferred partner for Amazon. They're going to be opening the floodgates. Right now, they have not opened the floodgates for all of their sellers to convert their products to 3D. Once they do open the floodgates, which is happening Q4 of 2022.
Okay.
And we know because we talked to Amazon. I spoke to them yesterday. So this is happening. And what does that mean? We're going to be front and center with Toggle3D. We're going to be introduced to Amazon manufacturers and sellers. We're going to put them on the Toggle3D platform. We're going to say, bring your 3D models, or if you don't have any 3D models, we'll make you 3D models.
Okay.
The 3D models will be on this platform. So from NexTech's perspective, the 3D model business is going to continue to grow, but there's that business there are some, constraints. Like we can't do 1 million 3D models a month. We
So
can.
it's basically it's sort of like
we can get 1 million Toggle 3D subscribers in a month.
okay.
Right? So there's a very big difference. So the 3D modeling business is growing exponentially. Yes, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we'll do millions in revenue. But to get to that billions, Toggle 3D.
Okay. So this is a self-service platform, basically for somebody.
Self-serve, no touch.
Okay. Okay.
You saw AI generated 3D models. AI generated 3D models. We've been talking about it. It's now here. You just saw. She just literally converted that. Whatever that thing was.
Yeah.
Showed us.
So okay. So basically, now. Now, here's a question. Now, you mentioned Adobe before, right? So Adobe's a player. Like, is this something that Adobe can they replicate this, or are they better off buying it from you or buying like what is
this definitely has this is gonna
you just bought Figma for $20 billion.
This is going to make AutoCAD, Adobe, even Amazon, everybody's going to sit up in their seats and take notice of this. This is, I mean, look, we come on your show, lots of other people come on your show, everybody talks their story, whatever. I'm telling you, game-changing technology was just demoed. This is legit game-changing technology. Nobody has the ability to do what we just demoed for you. It doesn't exist. We're ushering in a new era, which is this Adobe / AutoCAD, subscription platform where you pay us monthly fee. You could bring in your own 3D models. Sketchfab will be integrated. Sketchfab has 1 million plus 3D models. You'll be able to import a model from Sketchfab on Toggle 3D or TurboSquid or any of these 3D model marketplaces, which already, they have millions of them. It could be for the gaming industry. You bring in a 3D model, whatever it is, a gargoyle, and you want to redesign it, you do it on Toggle 3D. Everybody's going to use this platform. It's going to become the standard. It's just that good. It just has too many features, too much functionality. It's too easy to use. It's incredible. I mean, honestly, I have to say my team's done an amazing job. I'm beyond impressed with what was just demoed. I hope everybody understands, to be able to do what we're presenting, no human touch, CAD files, everything that's manufactured on the face of the planet. You're talking about this pen, or you're talking about this computer, or you're talking about everything. You have to have a CAD file to make it. Okay. And so when you think about the CAD file, okay, it's just it's kind of like
okay, so basically the CAD, so basically you can convert CAD files to 3D models at scale, right? For like if you use in e-commerce or what have you.
Yes.
How do you make money? What's the business model with this? It's a subscription.
Yeah, Jack, you're going to pay me X number of dollars per month to use my platform. That's it. You're going to pay me 100, 200, 300, whatever it is per month to use my platform. And, it's going to be based on seats. So how many people are going to use it? Ultimately, there's going to be some premium parts of the platform. So some of the platform will be, it'll be, let's say, $99 just for what you saw today per month. Oh, you want the virtual photography studio where you could turn it into a photography studio, so you could, have photorealistic images of 3D models on your website or in your magazines or on TV or in posters or whatever. Maybe you'll pay us $1,000 a month for that. So there's going to be different tiers based on the functionality that you're going to use. But I mean, this has billion-dollar potential written all over it, and it's just starting Like we're just now bringing this to market. We've been talking about it for quite some time. We've been talking about the CAD to Poly. This is that CAD to Poly product on steroids, where it's CAD to Poly plus a virtual photography studio, plus a decorator, which we didn't show here, plus the configurator. So I don't know if you could tell, but I'm really excited.
Okay. So, here's the thing. So it's interesting. So, I don't think people realize, I don't think investors realize, like, NexTech, I mean, because, what I think what the problem is, in the microcap space, especially with Canadian companies, Canadian listed companies, people are used to, some stories. They don't have, you actually have a real technology business with like constant innovation, new products. It's sort of, I mean, like, again, it's like,
tell me one other company in the entire Canadian market, or even the U.S.
or has multiple platforms, nobody
who has Amazon as a customer. Just tell me one other company.
I don't know any.
You won't be able to find one. Tell me another company that has as much technology as we keep rolling out. With our market cap, you won't find another one. It's an opportunity. For investors. I'm thinking of buying shares just because it's like so ridiculously cheap in my mind. Obviously, the market is creating an opportunity. And that's what happens on occasion.
Evan, it's interesting. The strategic buyers are valuing these things much different. Like, look at, again, I'm going back to the Adobe thing. Adobe is buying this company Figma for $20 billion. This company Figma, nobody has heard of it. I mean, most normal people never heard of it.
We've heard of them. We use Figma.
Yeah. So what? It's that's like a serious number, right? So can Adobe eventually buy NexTech? I mean, in other words, or maybe this part of the business.
Yeah. So remember, NexTech is a company that has multiple businesses,
multiple baby unicorns.
So we're spinning out ARway. That's our first major spin out, which will be a big hit. We're getting a lot of interest on the business side. And so I think that's going to be super exciting because, again, we've done some pioneering work and we've commercialized and we're bringing it to market. I mean, that is our story, right? That we spend a ton of time, money, and effort doing the pioneering work to the point where we could get a product into the market. And that's what we're doing with Toggle3D. We're doing that with 3D models. Even Map Dynamics, our event platform, with our new leadership, Malia, as CEO, that is now turning into an event technology business. When we acquired it, it was just an event business. But it's now turning into, we're taking all of our tech and integrating it so that it's an event technology business. So when you think about all these things, Jack, they're all kind of trapped inside of NexTech, and I'm not using that word loosely. They're kind of trapped. I'm going to release them to the market so that the value can be unlocked.
So there's going to be potentially more spin-outs beyond was it ARway?
Yeah, we got to get past ARway, but absolutely, there's certainly potential for more spin-outs, and there's no doubt in my mind that these spin-outs are going to create value for the NexTech shareholders. That's the whole reason we're doing it. And again, as the largest single shareholder, with almost 10 million shares, I'm trying to create value for all shareholders, which happens to include me.
Okay, Evan, let's wrap up. I gotta get to Bruce Campbell, the Stonecastle Fund, the money manager.
No problem, Jack. This was
what's last question? Two last questions. We'll go real quick. Is okay. We've seen a bunch of news. Look, what other news flow can investors expect? Like, what's happening next? Let's call it 2-3 weeks? I mean, I'm sure you're going to be back.
Well, I'm not going to talk about 2 or 3 weeks per se, but I will say, look, if you think about the catalysts, like why would you want to buy NexTech?
Yeah. What's top 3 reasons?
So I'll give you the number one reason. Our 3D modeling business is scaling, and that is going to show up in our Q3 numbers. We're going to have a record quarter for Q3 in terms of our 3D business. Remember, we're exiting the legacy e-com businesses, so that revenue will disappear, but the 3D modeling revenue is going to start to show up aggressively in Q3 and aggressively in Q4. And really, I think it's going to surprise people in 2023 what we're going to deliver in terms of, again, this 3D model. That's just one lane that we're driving down where it's now starting to go very, very fast. Similar to what we saw in 2020. Now, with the spin-offs, you get this added bonus where you potentially will own another company that's going to have a rapid adoption rate. So not only are the 3D models going to start to show up on the revenue in Q3, Q4 into 2023, which is why you want to invest, right? Because the company starts to get traction and scale, and off it goes. Well, ARway is going to be another one of those companies. And again, it's software. It's like Toggle3D. We're not making 3D models. It's going to scale. And we're already getting a lot of demand for demos. And so those are the reasons. Like, this is imminent stuff. The spin out is October. Q3 ends the end of this month, right, Jack?
Yep.
So don't be surprised if the numbers for Q3 come in quite strong, and that continues into Q4 and 2023 and beyond. We'll leave it at that, Jack.
Evan, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining the live stream. And Bruce Campbell is that's going to be on our YouTube channel, so you got to go on the other link. Here we go.